Hello, my beautiful friends. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Shay. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for checking me out. If you are returning, hey girl, hey, hi guy, hey. So friends, I want to firstly start by apologize for the lighting. I did attempt to record this video earlier in the day when the sun was a bit, still out a bit. But I had to stop. I had to finish working, and now the sun is slowly setting. So currently I have on my yucky office light as well as my ring light. So we're just gonna have to make it do what it do. Also, I want to apologize for my somewhat of a hiatus. I did share through the community tab by posting that I just was in a life slump. Life still has not quite slowed down, nor have I caught up, but I've missed you guys. I've missed sharing the books I'm reading. I miss reviewing them with you guys. I've missed just doing bookish things. I have obviously still been reading. Surprisingly, I've been reading a decent amount of books, but I was like, let me go ahead, pop out this camera, share with you guys what I did read in the months of July and August. And we're already halfway through September. So the day I'm recording this, it is September 18th. We're already mid-September, and I am currently on I think my fourth book, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not going to share my September reads. I'm going to do a separate video for that. However, let's go ahead and get right into it. Jumping into the books I read in both the months of July and August. Let me grab my handy dandy iPad for that. Okay. Also, when I share with you guys these books, I'm not going to go through the entire synopsis of it. For one, I do not want to read them, nor can I remember it. My memory, the way my brain set up, my memory set up, I can barely tell you what happened last week. So I definitely can't tell you exactly all the details of books that I read in the month of July and August. I wish my memory operated better, but usually once I'm done with the book, for the most part, it escapes me. And that doesn't mean that the book was not good. It's just my life is no longer like consumed with that said book. So I apologize for lack of details and explanation of them. So I just wanted to let y'all know that. But let's go ahead and get started for our July books. I also will not do these in any particular order as far as like when I read them. Also, I will make sure that I will put the books up here somewhere, since every book I do not have a physical copy, nor do I feel like getting the books off of my shelf. The first book that I want to share that I read in the month of July is Stranded by Chris Bruno, and this was just a silly, funny, humorous book. This is actually a book that I consumed via audiobook, and it actually was on Audible. Taraji P. Henson and Tracee Ellis Ross both were major characters in this book. So if you know them, if you're familiar with their work, so they are a hoot. If y'all don't know, I love saying a hoot. They are absolutely funny and hilarious. So hearing them truly act through this book, like I could just see them doing all the chaos in the midst that they were doing. But this is a book about two best friends who have seemingly grown apart. It was, I believe, one of their birthdays or some other, I guess, special occasion where they decided to go on vacation together. They're on a boat, they get stranded, hence the name, and then they pretty much have to work together to get themselves out of the situation. It was truly so funny and hilarious. And Taraji P. Henson, my birthday twin, we're both September 11th. So my birthday was technically last week because today is the 18th of September. But again, it was really, really, really super entertaining, really fun. It was just like a nice light read. I can't remember when I read this. I think this is probably one of my last books in the month of July, but it was truly, truly, truly enjoyable. And so towards the end of the book, they were able to pretty much try to, figure out things regarding their friendship. So again, just a quick, fun, entertaining read. The second book that I also did read in the month of July was Black Top Wasteland by V.S.A. Cosby. Friends, when I tell y'all, that S.A. Cosby is uncle. He is uncle. He may never see this video because I understand I am a much smaller, super duper tiny booktuber. But S.A. Cosby, you are uncle. This man knows how to write an action-packed story, and I absolutely love it. I love it with everything in me. And that's mainly because I'm an action girly. When it comes to movies, all day. Love a good action movie all day. Now, yes, I love my comedy, I love my drama, I love my romance. But action, hubby already knows. If it's an action movie, we're going to theaters to see it. Like, no questions asked. Absolutely love it. So this was a story about the main character. His name was Bug. His nickname, they call him Bug. He is from a life where, you know, there was a life of crime. He now has a family. He's gotten out of it, but some circumstances happened where he had to dip into his bag, his old tendencies, things that he pretty much learned from his dad, who his dad ended up leaving pretty much when he was like younger. And so therefore, I believe it was one of his uncles who essentially like raised him, who's also just familiar with some of the ins and outs of the lifestyle that dad was in. But when I say this man is about it, he's about that life. And that's what I love about S.A. Cosby's books. These male characters, you don't want to cross them. Like, you don't. And the way this man writes is very vivid. Like, I can see the scenes as I'm reading and going through the stories. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. I actually gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I can't remember why I didn't give it a 5. It's not that it wasn't great. I think there are a few times I felt like I was perhaps distracted. And so that had nothing to do with the book. But because of some distractions, I just decided to give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's probably low-key more so a 5 out of 5. But so far, because of my distractions, I think that's just why I just stuck with the 4.5 out of 5 stars. But it was a great book through and through. He is a great storyteller. He is great with character building. You will feel like you are a part of this book and this story, and you're rooting for the characters. Like, I don't care whose side you're on. You're gonna root for the main character. So I was rooting for Bug. I felt for him and his family, and just the choices he had to make, given, you know, the changes he was trying to maintain. So Black Tie Wasteland was another book I read in the month of July, and I absolutely loved it. The next book that I made sure I read was The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose. Now, if you are familiar with Geneva Rose, you may be familiar with The Perfect Marriage. Literally, The Perfect Divorce picks up pretty much with the aftermath of the ending of The Perfect Marriage. That was a tongue twister. Did I say The Perfect? Did I say The Perfect Marriage? Divorce? But I think I was saying, yeah, so The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose, it is a continuation of The Perfect Marriage. And so therefore, I'm not going to give much of what occurred because it would be spoiling the first one. But this book was much shorter than the Perfect Marriage itself, but it was still very much so enjoyable. I did give this book a 4 out of 5 stars only because I wanted something different at the end. Not exactly sure what, but just something slightly different. However, it was still very, very much so enjoyable, and I enjoyed being back in the world with the characters. I'm really bad at names, so I'm not even about to act like, what's friend name? Sarah. We're just gonna say Sarah. A mess child. A mess in the first book, still a mess in the second one. So, but that was The Perfect Divorce that I also read in the month of July, and again, 4 out of 5 stars. Please check it out if you really enjoyed The Perfect Marriage. All right, the next book that I read in the month of July is My Friends by Fredrik Backman. This is my third book, second novel technically, but third book that I've read by him. One was a short story, which was the one that was on Amazon. The answer is no, I believe is what it's called. And so with that one, excuse me, with my friends, I'm not even going to try to, I guess, explain it, because anytime I try to explain it, I sound very chaotic. So since that's the case, I'm not gonna explain it, but just know that this book was full of, sorry, you probably hear your husband, but this book is full of friendship. There's children who, in this book, the main characters is two timelines. So you have the present day, and then you have, I believe, 25 years prior. And the kids 25 years prior, like, to some degree, they all have a hard upbringing, a hard childhood, but they bond over a summer and just throughout their adolescent years. And it kind of fast forwards to how their story, a particular painting, impacts, I believe her name's Louisa, the main character in the present timeline. Very beautifully done. I really enjoy just the humor and the writing style of Frederick Bachman. Even though it is different, I don't think he's for everyone, but very much so enjoyable. And I did again give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I think for some people it could be a bit confusing because I believe his books are translated from Swedish. It's translated to English. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now, but again, still very much so enjoy his books. I cannot wait to jump into his next one. And the last book, which I just uploaded, which was my reading vlog, is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Y'all, I finally read it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 stars. It was very moving. I really enjoyed the characters. I love how it just wasn't super lusty, which I also mentioned in that reading vlog, so I will not go too much into details. But I really did enjoy that one as well. And that was really, what, 5 books? There was 5 books in the month of July. Like, I was on a roll in the month of July when I initially filmed that video, but didn't post it until September. But don't judge me. Don't judge me. Now moving on to my August reads. I actually want to start off with a book that me and my 2 friends, we actually, after several months, actually I think more so near a year of us saying we need to read a book together, we finally decided on a book in the month of August. And y'all, we read We Don't Talk About Carol. Y'all, 5 stars. 5 stars. When I say that book, I didn't even write a review, so I can't even really tell you guys what it did to me. But truly, that was a book. Kristen Berry, girl, you did that. We Don't Talk About Carol is about main character. She discovers after the passing of grandmother that she stumbles upon some things that she remembers seeing, like a picture of someone, but grandmother was like, hey, we don't talk about this person. She forgot it because she was young. Fast forward, she discovers she has an aunt. This is her aunt on her dad's side. She's just never discussed. However, Carol, as well as a few other young ladies, what state were they in North Carolina. 6 black girls in North Carolina just like went missing, and it was never solved. And so the main character, Sydney, she has a background in just I believe like reporting or like journalism or something along those lines. So it kind of triggers that old career because now she's more so doing something in a different field. And so journalism, investigative, I believe investigative journalism, what it is, it really tapped her back into that. And she just goes down a rabbit hole. And this rabbit hole was a rabbit hole. Family secrets, black girls not being taken seriously when they were taken, trauma, just all the things. It was so well done. Mental health was also mentioned in this book, and me and my two other friends, we're all therapists, so it hit. It hit. So We Don't Talk About Carol, amazing book. If you have not read it, please, please, please check it out. I promise you will not be disappointed. You will not. You will not. The next book that I read in the month of August is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Now, I will say, y'all, this book was a bit slow. I was like, Riley, we get it. Thank you for the suspense. Thank you for freaking me out and making me look behind my shoulder. But are we gonna get to it? Y'all, we got to it. Mouth was on the floor. He did it. He did it. So my review actually says, I have no words. I was so ready for this book to be over by 80%. Then all the action and twists happened at once. Just wow. Because it was enough to keep me interested. But I just was like, dang, like, we 70-80% done. And like, I still don't know what's going on. Y'all, it was so good. I think I'm late. Well, I know I'm late because Riley Sager has had at least like 2 more books I think have come out since I first added this on my TBR years ago. But it was good. I can't wait to jump into one of his other books. Not exactly sure which, but I said, okay, definitely got to be in my Riley Sager bag as well. 5 stars. 5 stars. Okay, so the next one in the month of August that I did read is my girl Taylor Jenkins Reid, One True Loves. Let me just read y'all my review on Goodreads. Also, if you ever want to keep up with what I'm reading, my Goodreads link is below, as well as my favorite one should be. TJR does it again. She wrote such a beautiful story of a woman who had such a difficult decision to make, and my heart ached for her being in this situation. The story is filled with love and loss, but Emma's self-discovery was most enjoyable. Y'all, I'm tired of saying y'all and pausing, being all dramatic, but I truly, truly, truly love this story. One True Love is just about the main character, Emma. She loses a spouse early on, I think right before their year or at their 1-year anniversary. She then runs into someone of her past, and then she finds out, oh, he isn't dead, and she just has to figure it out. And when I say that I am just so proud of how the book turned out, it just was beautifully done. If you have not read One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, this is your sign to do so. 5 stars if I already didn't say it. Next 2 books. Now, if y'all can't tell, We Don't Talk About Carol, The Only One Left, One True Love. Those are 3 5 stars in the month of August. August was a good month, and I still wasn't in the mood to edit the video I finally posted for y'all, but I did it. But the month didn't end quite well, so I then decided to pick up The Maidens by Alex M. I say M because I don't know if I can pronounce his last name, Michaelides, who is the author of The Silent Patient and The Fury. I was really looking forward to The Maidens, but y'all, I gave this a 2 out of 5 stars. I don't know where the plot was, but it didn't make it there. I just was disappointed. I think that's all I said. I said I'm just a bit disappointed. The plot was there. It just didn't tie up nicely. There's no better way of explaining it. And the audio, I typically enjoy a narration of accent of, I don't know if it was like UK or something. I normally enjoy it, y'all. I had to read that book because I said this audio is just not doing it for me. I enjoyed the book more reading it, but still I was like, that's it? I said, okay, no. 2 stars. 2 stars. Now, the last one. Also, I was a bit disappointed, but it's better than The Maidens. I decided to read another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, which is Maybe in Another Life. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. It didn't quite do it for me. Like again, it was there, but I just felt like it could have been done differently. And it was just more so the timeline for me. So pretty much you are the main character. You're in the same story, but you're learning of what a decision, how one decision can change the outcome. And so sometimes I just couldn't understand what was being discussed. So I said, this is my 4th Taylor Jenkins Reid book and the one I rated the lowest. The story itself wasn't bad, still amazing story telling and writing. I think alternating between the two timelines were a bit much for me. Sometimes I thought things were repeating and they were, just in a different timeline, but it was verbatim, so it was a bit off-putting. I just couldn't keep up with it. Again, the story, still traditional TJR storytelling. It was beautiful, well written. It just, the timeline just kind of threw me off. Someone else may very much will enjoy this book. I just couldn't. So in the month of August, that was 5 books. That was 5 books. I think getting 5 stars out of 5, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's not bad. So again, I tried to keep this short. And those are the reads that I read in the month of July and August. Please comment down below if you read any of these, and if you have, let me know what your thoughts were, if they were different than mine, or even if we had the same thoughts. I'm gonna stop this now, friends. I will see you guys soon. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye.